Good morning. I know I'm standing between you and lunch, so we'll keep it to the 15 minutes that they give you to speak. And so thanks for the Chamber for inviting us to be here. It's a privilege. And I want to talk a little bit about Acrisure, a company, even though West Michigan's been our home, some of you may not know. And since we've all been squandered in a pandemic for the last 15 months, you haven't seen a presence downtown, which you'll soon see once we do come back. Because we're moving our office downtown, as Mike mentioned. And at the end of the day, it started out when we put all this together to move downtown, and excited about getting, as we've grown, went from one office out in Caledonia to 5 offices around Grand Rapids area. And so as we put all the things together and got the deal signed downtown and now moving, it's not going to be 400 jobs, it's going to be close to 600 jobs that we've been moving downtown. So the company's growing that fast. And we really look forward to becoming much more of the community. As I said, look, we don't want to just move downtown, we want to make an impact on downtown. And so Children's Hospital, we sponsored or decided that we were looking really for a cause, and made a $15 million donation to the Children's Hospital. So we're going to continue to do more and more and more as we're now becoming, hopefully, the fabric or part of the fabric of the community. So with Acrisure, with a few slides here. But Acrisure is a company that, if you take the theme of this session, capturing opportunities, I think it's something that we've excelled in and have done pretty well. And if you look at the history of the company, I started the business with another gentleman in 2005, really with a view that there's a better way to do things in terms of the insurance space. There's a better way to build a business in the insurance space. Kind of defied conventional wisdom throughout the process in terms of defining what we think we could become. And really kind of tested the case from 2005 to 2012, staying very much in the Midwest. Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois was our geographic footprint. And so 2013 came and said, you know what, we became known for, if you're an entrepreneur who built a great business in the insurance industry and wanted to monetize some of the value created but continue to build your business going forward with a partner, we became known in the Midwest as the party to do that with. And so we said, look, if we become known in the Midwest for that, no reason we can't become known around the country for that. And so in 2013, got a private equity partner came in. As a lot of those transactions, if you're familiar with it, they make a big investment, they take a majority interest, and they have control of the company. With that partner, we were at $38 million. This is July of 2013, so almost 8 years ago to the day. We were $38 million of revenue and $10 million of EBITDA, or earnings. Fast forward from July 1st of 13 to present day, $38 million's become $2.3 billion. $10 million of earnings is now $900 million. And we're the fastest growing insurance broker in the history of the insurance industry. And that's not in the US, that's in the world. And so it's something that we've scaled. And again, with a better model, something that it's very partnership driven. The ethos of the business is, again, it said we're going to challenge conventional wisdom. We're going to partner with people. It's a very collaborative environment. And it's really, this is a testimony and a story, more than anything else, it's a testimony and a story of what can happen and the power of what can happen when a group of people get aligned in terms of their interests and then work very collaboratively together with a no limits mentality. And we talk about that. Those aren't buzzwords. It's not a cliche. I mean, we attack the day with a no limits mentality. Jeff Bezos at Amazon talks about having a day one mentality. Ours is a no limits. And it really is something that we live, and it courses the vein in terms of how we attack the day. And it's led to some incredible things. As I said, the fastest growing insurance broker in the history of a 330-year-old industry. Again, that's worldwide. And so as we sit here today, coming out of COVID, entered this year, 2021, with $2 billion of revenue. We'll end this year about $3 billion of revenue. So we'll grow 50% in 2021. Actually, in COVID, 2020, we grew the business from an earnings standpoint, not from necessarily a revenue standpoint, organically. Top line, we did grow slightly because of some M&A transactions. But at the end of the day, we did grow the business and continue to, with the kind of the attacking mentality and the no limits mentality, to do a lot of things that others have not been able to do. And I would tell you, it's really to that aligned interest. The business is 77% owned by people who work in the business every day. So we have outside capital, about $3.5 billion of invested capital, equity capital invested in the business. That $3.5 billion owns 23%. We own 77%. They have 2 board seats, and with 1 vote each, I've got 3 votes. And so what we've done since bringing on that private equity investor in 2013, we flipped the script completely by doing a management buyout in 2016, and now have control of our destiny. The right people are benefiting from our growth, and that alignment of interest, again, has just really kind of cemented itself in the sense that as we continue to grow and create value, we're creating it for the employees in the company, as opposed to an outside investor. And so those things have really been differentiated us versus others in the marketplace that are either public companies or private equity-backed companies that have the dynamic that I used to have, which was a company, someone else outside the business and outside the community, own the majority of the business and control the company. We have the good fortune of showing up in places like the Netherlands, and I'll talk about the global nature of the business in a couple slides. Showing up to a company that's 250 years of family history, only to talk to the CEO of the business and said, Greg, I've got a company, a big company. It was the 4th largest in the Netherlands in the country. I've got a big business that I can't sell. If I can sell it to the public companies and my culture's gone, my employees are going to hate me, my family's going to hate me. There's a lot of problems with selling to a public company and all those things just getting washed away. If we sell to a company that's got a private equity backer, it's just a matter of time before the flip happens, and we're going to end up wherever we don't want to end up. And so I've got this dilemma of I want to monetize some value, but I've got no ability to do it because there's no buyer in the marketplace that actually has, in perpetuity, control of their destiny, and also a model. This is where the differentiation comes in, or the challenging conventional wisdom. A model that's going to allow us to maintain our brand, a model that's going to allow us to maintain our identity, not dictate how we manage the business, but be as a partner there to help with a lot of things in terms of resources and technology and capital and on and on and on. So all to say, those are the things that have led to some unbelievable growth over the years. And I think I mentioned that, again, $2 billion of revenue at the beginning of this year will be $3 billion by the time we're done. Hence the 400 employees in downtown Grand Rapids becoming 600 in a year's time, and it's going to keep. Unfortunately, the new building we're moving into, we're out of space the day we move in, and so we've got that challenge. And so there's some real estate folks, hopefully in the audience, we should probably talk to about what we do from here. So in terms of the business itself, have you look at this slide really from the left and kind of bottom and going up to the center. So we're a company that does a lot of acquisitions. If you look at after we did our management buyout in 2016, to be able to go out in the marketplace and tell the story that, look, we're a company that is owned by the employees, 77%, and I've got control of the board, so you can take comfort in what the future is going to look like, because I control it, and we own it in terms of the employees. So after that management buyout, 92 acquisitions the very next year, 102 after that, 100. Last year in the middle of COVID, we did 110 deals. 110 partnerships. So we said that COVID, I know there's been conversations throughout today about COVID. We just said, look, it's back to the no limits mentality. We're not going to use the pandemic as an excuse. We're still going to grow the business, and we're going to be known for, in capital markets in particular, we're going to be known for the company that, of all the companies that went into a pandemic, who came out the other side in the most favorable state, in a very positive posture. We're going to be known as that company. And we did 110 deals, managed the process, obviously, with employees and be very thoughtful about the safety and health of everybody that works at the company. And all to say, immediately after our board meeting in December, where we talked about the year and the 110 deals and the growth and the preservation of all the things that, from a strategic standpoint, we said we're going to do, we made progress on all of them. One of our investors that had a $200 million investment literally called me, was texting me through the board meeting in December, called me immediately afterwards and says, I want to take our $200 million investment and increase it to $3 billion. And I said, well, look, we don't need any capital or anything like that, but if you got other investors to step out, you can replace them. So that's exactly what he did, and all because of how he handled COVID, and again, the approach that we've taken to growing the business. The other alignment of interest, and I talk about the significance of that all the time, because this is the bigger we get, the bigger we get. And when I say that, it's all because our partners that own 77% of the business are out around the globe telling a very compelling story about the company. And so if you look at the deals that we're doing, where they're coming from in terms of the source of transactions, they're coming from our partners and employees. 85% of the 110 deals in 2020 came on a referral from existing partner. Profitability, we talked about there. Geographic footprint in 2013, we're Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. We're now in 43 states, 7 countries. It's actually going to become 8 countries. Just signed a letter of intent with another company in Spain. Met yesterday with a group in New York from Nigeria. So the footprint just keeps growing, the geography, and the story that we have, the model that we've built, it just resonates and continues to resonate, not just in the U.S. or in North America, but in fact around the globe. So that's the footprint. So real quick, 3 minutes to go, and I'm going to talk about all the kind of stuff that's helped us be successful and help us grow and been kind of the foundation, if you will. I want to talk about the future. And when you look at the business, we've got 10,000 employees around the globe. We got lots of great things going on. We're tenacious. I'll keep it clean. Very tenacious about if you're a client of ours. I mean, you think we're tenacious about building the business. If you're a client of ours, we're incredibly tenacious in terms of making sure we're a good advocate and trusted advisor for those that we have the luxury of serving. And so if you look at the business and where we're going and kind of the pillars that we're building on, client centricity. We've invested hundreds of millions of dollars in understanding our clients, their needs, and the marketplace. And so while today we're known as an insurance broker, going forward, we're actually going to be offering many products and services way beyond just insurance, as we've now understand and have a view of what our clients really want and really need in terms of product and services. So think of more of a fintech company as instead of an insurance broker. In terms of tech-driven, the largest acquisition we've done to date was actually in COVID. We bought an AI firm, artificial intelligence firm, that brings capabilities to us. So we are massive believers in and investors in artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic processing. We're deploying it at a very, very high level. We've got a team in Austin, Texas that started from scratch, did the transaction of the firm. It's gone from 10 people to it's now about 50 people that is tech enabling every facet of our business and giving us insight into the market opportunities that we would never otherwise have seen. And so it's a big investment, and it's certainly going to be something that we continue to drive and emphasize going forward. And just one quick story in terms of the tech. We've effectively mapped the U.S. and that every business in America that has employees, 7.8 million businesses that we don't do business with, we have a view of who they are, what they do, who owns them, what products and services they're interested in. On average, 400 attributes of information about those companies and 300 attributes of information about 225 million people. So it really has given us tremendous insight. And again, the tech investments is what allowed us to do that. Entrepreneurial, I mentioned the business is 77% owned by people that work in the business. So those that are entrepreneurs know the resiliency, the uncommon levels of commitment and sacrifice that entrepreneurs make. It is something that, it's the foundational element of our business in terms of who owns it, runs it, et cetera. We don't have an office in the world that isn't run by a shareholder. We've made everybody that runs an office and beyond, we have about 1,400 of our 10,000 employees are shareholders. And we've made sure that they are. And we just see what the power of that aligned interest has really done. So an entrepreneurial DNA is what's built the place. It's what continues to drive it. And that's will continue in the future. And innovation and adaptability. It's at the core. I think we'd all say the world is getting more complex, not less complex. The ability to have an innovative kind of DNA or way of evaluating and looking at everything and being adaptable. I mean, innovation's here to stay. The one change in life is constant. or the one constant in life is change, sorry. And so at the end of the day, we've got to be innovative. And in the company, we talk about accepting and adapting to innovation has got to be as common as breathing. And if you think that's a really high bar, it is. But that's where the world's going. And so it's something that, again, we've emphasized. It's a exciting place to be, growing the way we've growing. There's a lot of vibrancy. There's a lot of enthusiasm. If, the doctor that just spoke about talent, we've brought talent into Grand Rapids, recruited people from Tampa. We've recruited people from Connecticut. Elliot, who's here somewhere, is from Connecticut. We've brought people in from New York, soon to be bringing in someone from California. So Grand Rapids and West Michigan is a place you can recruit people to. If the business is vibrant, exciting, growing, and challenging, we're finding that we're absolutely, with kind of Grand Rapids as our home base, we can recruit whoever we need to recruit. Chicago, I mean, it's the cities go on in terms of people that we've recruited and brought in. So we're going to continue doing that. I've got a clock that's saying you're done, and so I'll be done. I'll just say thank you for the opportunity to meet. Hope to get to know more and more of you in person as time goes on. Again, as we become more immersed and ensconced into the kind of the business community in Grand Rapids. So thank you, exciting times, and appreciate, nice to have the opportunity to actually gather with a bunch of people for the first time, at least for me, in 15 months. So thanks so much, and I appreciate it.